Never stop growing. Lessons from a resilient plant. Hi friends, let's talk about something we all experience but often overlook: growth. It's the one thing that defines us as living beings. From the moment we're just a tiny speck, a single cell, we're growing. Physically, emotionally, mentally. And that doesn't stop, not even when we're old and gray. Growth is what keeps us alive. But here's the catch. Growth isn't always easy, is it? Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes, it feels like we're planted in the worst soil imaginable. No nutrients, no light, not enough water. Yet somehow, there are plants that thrive even in the harshest conditions. How do they do it? Let me share a story. The resilient plant. There was this little plant in my home, a humble pothos. At first glance, it looked incredible, lush and thriving. Naturally, I thought, wow, this plant must have everything it needs. Perfect soil, enough water, and just the right amount of light. But one day, I decided to repot it. To my surprise, the soil was dry, crumbly, and poor in nutrients. It was far from ideal. And yet, that pothos was still growing, reaching for the light with all it had. Its roots were long, its leaves vibrant, and its energy unstoppable. It didn't stop to complain about the bad soil. It didn't wish for better conditions. It just did what it was made to do: grow. Plants don't overthink, but we do. Now think about us humans. We're a little different, aren't we? We overthink everything. Unlike plants, we have choices. Powerful, incredible choices. But sometimes, those choices trip us up. Instead of focusing on our own strengths, we compare ourselves to others. Imagine a cactus trying to bloom like a rose, or an oak tree wishing it were a sunflower. It sounds silly, right? But don't we do this all the time? We push ourselves to grow in ways that don't match who we are. We try to fit into molds that weren't made for us. And in the process, we ignore the incredible potential that's already inside us. We forget that we don't need perfect conditions to grow. We just need to start where we are, with what we have. The secret to endless growth. Here's what I've learned from that pothos and so many other resilient plants. Growth isn't about where you're planted. It's about how you choose to show up every single day. You don't need the perfect job, the perfect family, or the perfect life to thrive. You don't need to be like anyone else either. You just need to keep reaching for your light, one tiny step at a time. Your story matters too. Now, let's bring it back to you. Have you ever felt like you're planted in poor soil? Like the odds are stacked against you, but you still find a way to grow? Maybe you've gone through tough times and come out stronger. Or maybe you're still in the middle of it, wondering if you'll ever make it. If that's you, I want you to know this. You are like that pothos. You are built to grow, even when life feels impossible. And your growth doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Let's share and inspire. So, tell me, what's your growth story? Have you ever cared for a plant that defied the odds and grew in tough conditions? Or maybe you've had your own pothos moment in life. Share it in the comments. Let's remind each other that just like those resilient plants, we are capable of so much more than we think. Remember, you don't have to be perfect soil. You just have to be you. Don't miss the next growth story. If this story inspired you, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And hey, if you're as curious as I am about how plants and people keep growing against all odds, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next video. It's going to be all about another plant that's as tough and resilient as you. Thank you for being here, for growing, and for being part of this amazing community. See you in the next video.